Howdy, this is tubalcain doing my facial screen debut, just for those of you that want to connect my face with the voice. Today I'm going to do a video on threads and threading. My last one was on taps and tapping, and this will be presented in three parts. One, just a description of the tools that we're going to use, and number two will be threading by hand in a vise, and number three, threading on the machines. Be sure and watch my many other videos, perhaps 100 of them, that are machine shop related or engine related, and if you're interested in that type of thing, I think there's some that will be of interest to you. Now, taps are used for threading internal holes, and dies, threading dies, are used to thread the outside of a shaft or a rod, as you see on this bolt. And this is just as useful really as threading. So this is external threading. Now there are many different kinds of threading dies, and I have a few of them here on the bench to show you. Again, if you want a complete set of them, such as this Craftsman set, we have taps and dies together, and on the lower half we have the tap wrench and the die stock, and even a little screwdriver to adjust them, and a thread pitch gauge is used to determine the type of thread. I'll talk about that in another video, how to identify threads. But we're going to talk about dies today, and dies come in many different outside sizes and configurations, and they're available for any thread size that you can think of, and also there would be metrics and British and Whitworth and others. I don't have all of those here. I do have a set of metrics which I mentioned in another video. The round adjustable split dies are the most common. Now all of these dies are available in both carbon steel and high-speed steel. High-speed steel always being preferable and more expensive. These are mainly carbon steel dies that I'm going to show you here. Be sure and throw them away when they're dull, so you separate them from the good ones, because they do get dull. Now when we say round adjustable split die, what we mean is that there is a split here, and then on the side there's a little set screw right by my thumb, and that is used only to set the depth of the thread and make them cut a little deeper or a little shallower, or possibly compensate for wear. You certainly can't change it from one size to another. That is, you couldn't change a 1/2 inch to a 9/16. Now there are other kinds of dies as well. These are called acorn dies, and those are just some oddballs I found around here, and those are generally used in the real small sizes, but I'm just going to set those aside. I don't want to talk about those. There are also hexagon dies, hexagon on the outside, and those can be held in a lathe 3-jaw chuck, or they can also be held in the die stock that is hexagon shaped, so you have to have the correct kind for that. But most of mine are round, and some of them are like 7/8 diameter, and the more common one you're going to see in all the hardware stores are the 1-inch diameter. And then in in the bigger sizes, they're 1.5 inches. That's one of my favorite. But they also make them in even larger sizes. I don't have any right here to show you, but I do have hundreds of these here, drawers and drawers full of them, all different sizes and types. And you need a big assortment of them if you're going to do a lot of threading, and I do a lot of threading. I didn't really want to mention much about pipe dies, but here's the standard rigid pipe die, and those dies come in any different size you can imagine. For pipe thread, starting at 3/8 on up to 2 inch. This is a 1/2 inch, I believe. These are ratcheting type die stocks that are reversible. They're real nice. But you can also hold bolt dies in there. This is also the Rigid brand. And what I like about those is they've got the hole on the other end that corresponds to the size of the die, and that allows you to start it straight, so you don't get a crooked thread. It's very easy to get a crooked thread. That's all I'm going to say about pipe threads. Here's a Rigid pipe, not pipe die, but a die stock that I like. It holds 3 different common sizes of the dies for bolts. This would be used really on construction, but they also have the holes right here to prevent you from getting a crooked thread. So that's a nice one, and that's a nice long handle there so that you could get plenty of leverage. It's about 2 foot long. These dies are really what we call rethreading or repairing dies, and these are mechanics tools that would be in a mechanics toolbox to clean up or repair any damaged threads on bolts if you're working on a car or a truck. This is a smaller set, and there's also some smaller ones, but they do come in the bigger sizes too. And they aren't made to put a thread on from scratch. They're only made to clean up a thread. And these can be turned with a crescent wrench or just about any kind of wrench, or the smaller ones can be turned with a regular mechanic socket and ratchet. So these are going to be found in the toolboxes of mechanics probably rather than machinists, but these are available in automotive stores, probably not the hardware stores. Die stocks are made in many sizes. All of these little ones here hold the 1-inch dies. There's one that's even a little smaller. But since I mainly use the 1-inch dies, and you say, why do you have so many of them? Well, first of all, they didn't cost me anything because they come from a garage sale, so they probably cost $1 a piece or less. And it's so handy to have each one dedicated to a different size. That is to say, I might be threading a 1/4 inch, and I would use that one. And then if I was going to thread 3/8, I would grab the appropriate size, and it's ready to go and all mounted. The larger die stocks, of course, hold the 1.5-inch dies, such as that one. And you're going to find both the small and the large ones available with this adjustable, I guess I'm going to call it a collet on the back side, and that allows you to, this opens and closes, and allows you to adjust the size. I'm moving it in and out now, almost like a 3-jaw chuck, and that will allow you to bring that up to the rod size so that you can get a straight thread, and then that can be locked. Those are fairly useful, but they're marginal in quality. These are some different die holders that I use on the lathe, and these can be held in the tailstock, or they can be held in the headstock and then the work held in the tailstock. This big one, of course, would have to be held in a 3-jaw chuck, and that holds a 1.5-inch die. This one is more of a mechanics tool that also could be turned by a ratchet. That is a 1/2-inch drive down there, and you can put your die in that end. That's, I think, a Sears Craftsman tool, and some of these are homemade, and you'll see those in one of the next videos.